Hello everyone, welcome back to Daily Digest. This is yours truly, Julio Cruz speaking. And this is episode 3, part 2. Now if we remember from part 1, we had finished displaying that tree's image and translating it or moving across the screen. Now let's build and go or compile and go and run the application in the iPhone simulator. And we can see now that the tree image is animated. Now let's close the iPhone simulator and let's continue with side scrolling. Now we need to set some few variables first before we can continue further on. So let's go up. In the beginning we have our integer types of variables, and we want to include an additional variable now, or we want to create an additional variable. We're going to call it J. And J, in this case, is going to equal to Y. So I is going to equal to X, and J is going to equal to Y. So X and Y coordinates. The next thing now we want to do is that we want to define the size of our map that we want to make. So we're going to define by dimension. So define max width equals, in this case, 360, and define max height to equal 480. In this case, because it's defined, we don't really need to assign it like we assign a variable, since this is a defined constant. So we're going to leave it at that. Next, we're going to go down below to draw view, and in here we want to draw the sprites that we want to use. In this case, we're going to use that tree sprite. So let's make the for loop that we want. So for I equals 0, I is less than max width, I plus plus. That's the first loop. The second loop for the height, J equals 0, J is less than max height, J plus plus. Okay, so now that we passed these for loops, now we want to instruct the for loop to draw and to place each single one of the sprites that we want to be displayed in our screen. So we're going to grab draw tree sprites as our example in this case. I'm going to paste it, copy and paste it in the inner loops. We're going to change simply the I and the J coordinates here. In this case, what we have done is that it seems like we're going to translate or move the image more than draw it at the screen. But in this case, it's way different. In this case, there is no inner GL clear. So when we display it on the screen, it should appear per frame each and every single one of the image that we're defining here. So we are drawing the sprites of the trees for every sequence that is going to follow. In this case is that we want to increment or assign the eye to 32 since our sprite image is 32 by 32. The same here, we want to, for J, we want to equals 32. So width and height